Geopolitics and Empire is joined by a returning guest, Dr. Piers Robinson. He is the co-director of the Organization for Propaganda Studies, convener of the Working Group on Syria, Propaganda and Media, associated researcher with the Working Group on Propaganda and the 9/11 Global War on Terror, and former chair in politics at the University of Sheffield. It's been well over a year since we last spoke, Piers, and the world has become unrecognizable. How have you been?
I've been well. It's been a very difficult year, 2 years for everybody. As you said, we're undergoing some pretty unprecedented political and economic processes. So, I mean, I'm doing well. It seems to be busier than ever, which is not surprising given what's happening with COVID-19. But generally, I think, as with many other people, feeling, personally quite a lot of the strain from what we're all going through. These are difficult times for everybody. But bearing up okay, and positive.
Yeah, that's good. And, that interview we did in April of 2020 was titled, "Is Coronavirus the New 9/11?" And I think you were right on the money. And I think that interview is seminal and has aged like fine red wine. And a few days later, I saw an image still of that interview featured in the Times newspaper as part of a hit piece on you, talking about the usual blah, 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 conspiracy theorist, blah. How did that feel? You must be wondering where the rest of this interview is. From here on out, many future Geopolitics and Empire podcast interviews will no longer be posted to the YouTube platform due to censorship. They are simply too hot to handle. However, you can easily find all the full-length podcast interviews on platforms that do not censor. For video, you can go to the Geopolitics and Empire channels over at Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, or Brighteon. For audio, you can go to SoundCloud or wherever podcasts are found, such as Apple, Spotify, Google, or countless other podcast platforms. You can also bookmark geopoliticsandempire.com or subscribe to the newsletter to be reminded of every new podcast interview. I need your help in migrating away from Pentagon Tube, so please find Geopolitics and Empire on other platforms and subscribe there. See you on the other side.